Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, some figures have been revealed, and we'll talk about the figures in a moment, but these figures are actually quite worrying, and they're going to be damaging to the economy. And I'm going to explain why. People are concerned. They're concerned for the economy, they're concerned for their own futures. Will they have a job? Will they be made unemployed? Will, even if you maintain your job, will say bonuses not be paid? Will, your job be downsized, downgraded, and so forth? People are so worried about this that they're not going out and taking on long-term debt, for example. They're not making investments. What they're doing is they're saving. They're saving their cash. They're saving their money because they don't know what's going to happen in sort of short and medium term future, and so they want to ensure that they've got cash on hand to tide them over until the better times come again. Now, part of you will say, well, that's perfectly sensible. If you've got the resources, save your resources, because you don't know what's coming down the line. And at least if you've got some cash, then whatever happens, you can tide that over until, as I say, whatever the medium term problem is gone and the boom comes back. But that's not necessarily going to happen this time because things are so different. Now, the anxiety that people are showing has resulted, shall I say, in savings increasing massively. Up from 1.08 trillion in savings to 1.09 trillion. Now you might be thinking, well, that's only a 1% increase. Yes, but it's still billions of pounds. It's still lots and lots of money sitting in dormant bank accounts, earning a little bit of interest here. Or a little bit of dividend there, wherever. What it's not being done is being spent out on the high street, in shops and bars and cinemas, in car showrooms, in housing shops, new furniture, or maybe getting the builders in to put that extension on. The sort of things that drive an economy, the things that money does. Money only does good when it moves. When money's sitting dormant, it doesn't do anything. You need to spend money to pay someone for a goods or service. They take their profit, they spend that on goods and services, they spend that on goods and services, and so forth. And everybody benefits. That's the whole point of money. It's got to keep churning. Money churn, and it is called churn, is actually a measurable, quantifiable number when it comes to macroeconomics. M3 money supply, churn, taxation level, the dormancy, savings. There's all sorts of numbers that are important. But they're only important and they only work when money moves. Because people are scared, people are dumping the money in the banks and going, save that for a rainy day. And the thing is, this is not going to be a rainy day. This is going to be a very long downpour. This is going to be a storm. And then for a lot of people, the money may well run out. And there'll be no way of getting more money because the economy is going to collapse. Because as people don't spend, the economy shrinks. Self-fulfilling prophecy. And there's nothing the government can do. You can't force people to spend money. Short of actually going in and saying, if you don't spend that money in your bank, if you carry more than, say, £10,000 in your bank, the government will have it and invest it. They could do that. They could try that. But by God, watch the money leave the country. Boom, overnight. It is pretty bad. Consumer confidence is at a low. One of the all-time lows. Because nobody, of course, has got any faith in this government. They've got no faith that the economy is going to turn around any time soon. And why should it? When you've got a Marxist government, it's not going to grow. It's always going to sink. When you've got a Labour government, no Labour government ever has come out and left the country richer when it's left office. Not one. Well, one, but that's only because it was only in power for about 6 months. And it was just after It was about 100 years ago, 1924. Anyway, Ramsay MacDonald. Anyway, and it was only there about 19 months in power, so it wasn't there very long. But the more money that goes into the banks, the more the banks have to pay interest. But they're not generating interest because nobody's taking loans because nobody can afford the loans. So the banks are trying to, offer lower and lower interest rate loans in order to get the money out. Well, there comes a point that the banks aren't making money. Banks need money to move for them to make money. It's going to affect the banks and their profitability. And why is that an issue? Because it is the banks that generate vast amounts of money for this country through the city. The whole system, the whole machinery of the economy is about to seize up, and it may not get going again for quite some time, if at all. This is what Labour do. What's the answer? Well, you've got to encourage people to spend. You've got to give people a reason to spend. You've got to lift their confidence. You've got to show them that things are going to get better. But I can't see how this government can do this. They've taxed and they've taxed and they've taxed. And why, if you're getting taxed so much, would you bother working harder knowing that the government's going to get most of the money you earn? You just sit back going, meh, I can't be arsed. Household saving has increased over the past 5 years from 16 to 25% of income. Not everyone's got an ability to do it, but overall, that's a lot of cash out of the system. And when you've got a doom and gloom chancellor with a doom and gloom economy and it's all sinking into the mire and everyone can see it, foreign investors see it. They're not coming here. Why would a foreign investor come to Britain? All the money's leaving. High tax, high energy costs, and now a failing economy. No one's going to come here because nobody wants to. And there is literally nothing this government can do. It's also a problem for growth because, again, if you're not spending, you can't grow. And so all their claims, we're going to grow the economy, out the window. And this economy now is past the point of stagnation. But you've still got inflation. So you've got a stagnant economy and inflation. Stagflation, the curse of the 70s. I will expect inflation to increase continually, interest rates to go up, and poverty to exceed levels not seen since the Victorian times. It's going to be a rough ride, so hold on and good luck. Bye.